Do you want to do the Slavitt discussion about how Americans haven't sacrificed enough?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, have you been able to isolate that audio down?
Yeah, I'm rolling on it.
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Compassion International here.
Right now, it is 67 degrees and holding at Reagan National. Traffic and weather brought to you by Compassion International.
And then New Look in 5 here.
If you've got a project around your house, like getting a new roof, that can be stressful. And the process is stressful, right? You got to get your 3 quotes. I don't know. We've always decided, get 3 bids, right? And one is always like really low, like super low. Like you can't trust it. You throw it out immediately, right? And then there's another one that's just insanely expensive, like twice as much as the other ones. And it makes you wonder. It's like, well, I'm being taken for a ride here. What am I paying for here? Financing this guy's divorce or something? No, I want to tell you about Patrick Fingles and New Look Home Design because they have the Goldilocks price, a roofing price that's just right. New Look gives you line-by-line processing. You know exactly what you're paying for. They call it TPT, total price transparency. I call it peace of mind. You can trust it right down to the exact square footage. That's why I choose New Look for my home. You should too. Right now, New Look Home Design is going to give you 50% off all roofing materials and 0% financing for qualified homeowners. And they'll beat any qualified contractor's price. See, peace of mind. Call New Look now, 800-279-5300, or visit newlookhomedesign.com to schedule a free, no obligation, same-day estimate. newlookhomedesign.com. Minute 5, 6.
Yeah, I got a minute 7. But...
The smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. If you're hiring this summer, you need a team.
Okay, he's in 10.
Coming up on O'Connor and Company, we talk a lot here this morning about how Democrats have moved so far to the left. It's quite radical. The question is, can Republicans capitalize on that? We'll ask Cal Thomas about it. Plus, a senior Biden advisor says Americans didn't sacrifice enough this past year. Really? Why don't you enlighten him? 888-630-9625. Did you not sacrifice enough? 888-630 WMAL. Yay! We're off and rolling.
That's a good talker.
WMAL News
Yeah.
at 6. Good morning, everyone. I'm John
Oh,
Matthews.
oh, oh.
Fairfax County Police are turning up the
My
heat in
brother-in-law
their efforts
flies
to
in
find
today.
72-year-old
I forgot.
woman who
Meredith's
disappeared
brother is
nearly
flying in.
2 weeks ago after a trip to
Is
the
it
grocery
impossible
store.
to? I'll pay for it. Is it impossible to get a fifth ticket for Friday?
Let me ask.
Okay. If not, it's cool. It just means I'll probably bring him instead of Meredith, so you won't have a girl to talk to.
That's okay.
Are you in Spencer?
No.
Oh,
No, Spencer doesn't.
Major Ed O'Carroll says police are convinced someone has
Date?
information
No,
that's yet to be shared
just
in the
not.
case.
Yeah.
Maryland State
But
Highway
that's-
officials are trying
That's
another
cool.
tool
Yeah.
to ease congestion on
I-
I-270.
It's not publicly known.
Had a hunch.
But the group I went with.
Because you'd be a great couple.
Well, thank you.
You know how Meredith and I are very intent on hooking you up with somebody.
Could you ask Luke to see?
He is. We've been
Oh, he's
working
back
on it.
there. I didn't see him
Yeah,
back
there's
there.
something wrong with the plug.
David Phillips, director of
Is that
I-270's
what I'm saying?
Innovative Congestion Management, says most of the construction has been completed. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.
But see, even if you plug it into the wall outlet,
Virginia's hospitality industry will take years to repair. And tourism officials say they'll ask the General Assembly to direct federal relief funds to tourism offices as part of a larger $270 million grant.
Yeah, the group I went with to the game on Sunday it was a group of just like 9 gay men and me. It was a great time.
that's a blast.
It was so fun.
Yeah, I come from the world of musical theater. So.
And they're all conservative.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Yep, you've got 4 minutes.
Until at least November 1st, and some residents who are facing debt to the utilities will be receiving bill credits as part of an $83 million state pandemic aid package, enough to eliminate all debt for customers who've been in the state energy assistance program over the past 4 years. As life starts to return to normal, there's once again a need for blood donors.
The Red Cross needs all blood types, especially type O and those giving platelets. Donate ASAP.
The number of trauma cases has gone up. Elective surgeries are on the rise.
The organization's Lisa Flutterman telling WMAL
Flutterman.
in the past 3 months, they've given hospitals 75,000 more blood products than expected due to demand. If you roll up your sleeve before the end of the month, you'll get a $5 Amazon gift card. Maria Lee on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Checking your money, the Dow futures down 49 points, the Nasdaq futures up 13. In sports, Yankees deep to left. See you later. 5-0 on the grand slam. The call on Masson is the Nats put the game away early in an 8-1 pillage of the Pirates. The Nats have now won 3 straight.
Pillage of the Pirates. Did you catch that? Look at you. You fixed it.
Yeah.
Just question of getting it right.
It's on like a hair trigger.
Maybe I knocked it when I moved the banner.
Strong breeze would knock it off. So
I may have exhaled by it too. Yeah, that's possible.
it's all about workarounds at this place.
Hey now. So in the video, I couldn't tell. Did Abe just trip and fall, or was he pushed by George from behind?
He fell.
Hmm.
Yeah. No sabotage this time.
Sometimes. Well, Abe used to be the guy who was always doing the mean stuff to people. He was always like elbowing. I love that Abe had this sort of badass persona.
No, he took a very exaggerated fall. It
This-
was like a LeBron flop.
How can it not be exaggerated when you've got a giant
Giant,
12-foot head?
That's true. I don't know. The guy in the suit added a little extra panache.
Okay. Mm.
6:05 at WMAL. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the 5s, here's Steve Hirschhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
So this says I should have just done a cornerstone, huh?
It does?
Yeah, 6:04 it says.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I bumped it down to 21. No, I bumped it down to 27.
Oh, sure.
Oh, that's gonna be an issue.
That'll be interesting.
We've got EMP already there, so
Yeah, I've got EMP, Cornerstone, and Reynolds team.
we'll fit it in. Somewhere.
That's early for Reynolds. I guess I should do 43 and 43 and 53, right?
Yeah, that's the best solution.
All right. Well, you tell me. Should I get ready for Cornerstone first, though,
No,
or EMP?
let's do EMP first,
All right.
just to leave it where it is.
7 News meteorologist Veronica Johnson and the Storm 7 Weather Center.
Right now it is 62 in Chantilly, 65 in Fort Washington, 67 at Reagan National. Traffic and weather brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. I'm John Matthews on 105.9 FM, Washington's Mall, WMAL.
Now, O'Connor and Company.
It is 6:07 here in the nation's capital. It's O'Connor and Company getting you going this Wednesday morning. And joining us to do just that, 6:35, brings us Cal Thomas. At 7:05, General Jack Keane. And at 8:05, Morgan Ortagus from the Pompeo State Department. Both Keane and Ortagus will be giving us some insight into this showdown between Biden and Putin that the White House is really lowering expectations for. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. Keeping us company all morning long from The Spectator, Amber Athey this Wednesday morning. Good day to you, Amber.
Good day.
You know, the Biden administration continues to sort of step in it here. It can't be overstated how many sort of unforced errors have been made. And the latest now comes from Andy Slavitt, who is part of the COVID task force for the Biden administration. He gave an interview on Monday, and you need to hear. Let me just play this one short part of it. Wow, that reeks of, at the very least, being tone deaf right now about the mood of the American populace. It also is incredibly inaccurate, uncompassionate, pretty despicable. Blaming you. Yeah, the reason COVID-19 was so bad, reason the pandemic was bad, the reason that it spread so much, the reason that so many people died, the reason there was so much economic heartache, it's your fault. You didn't sacrifice enough. You needed to do more. Really? Why don't you enlighten Andy Slavitt? Do you agree? Could you have done more? Or maybe did you sacrifice plenty over the last year and a half? 888-630-9625. Let this White House hear the voice of the people and push back in very real terms. There are very few opportunities in the media for you to be able to pick up the phone and talk back, respond. How many times would you like to do that when you see George Stephanopoulos waking you up, right? Or anyone else on television? You can't. Well, now you can. You angry at what Andy Slavitt said from the Biden administration, that you haven't sacrificed enough? Let them hear your voice right now. That's what we exist for here on WMAL. 888-630-9625, 888-630-WMAL. Amber, I'm going to play the full minute here so everyone can hear the full context, but there really isn't much taken out of context. This is truly what this administration, and I think most on the left believe, that the American people are just selfish, they're stupid, they're lazy, and they wanted more freedoms, and that's why we had the pandemic.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that these people could be so out of touch with regular Americans. You have millions of people who lost their jobs over the past year, lost their businesses, lost family members, are dealing with mental health issues because of the isolation from them staying in their homes for months on end. What else exactly would he like these people to sacrifice? Are they supposed to go out into the middle of the Washington Mall and commit seppuku and say, please, COVID gods, save us?
Almost, it seems that way, or just or lock down more. We wanted to get back. We had house parties. People came over where they didn't like that. They did, whatever it is. By the way, this guy, his job, he was the acting administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I mean, he was right in the middle of it for the Biden administration. And the fact that he came to the table with this kind of attitude is offensive, absolutely offensive, considering what people have done.
And I suspect that some of this is probably projection and a bit of guilt on his part, because it turns out that the people who were the loudest about lockdowns were actually the ones going out and having these dinners with friends and having these parties and getting caught red-handed, being complete and total hypocrites. And so I think that he is actually thinking about his own behavior at the start of the pandemic and realizing maybe he didn't sacrifice enough.
Great point.
It's not actually about us at all.
What's in your closet, Andy Slavitt? All right. Well, after a year of your children getting a subpar education and all the emotional and social distress that they're under, that we won't know for years the full repercussions of, Andy Slavitt, speaking on behalf of the Biden administration in this capacity, says you haven't sacrificed enough. Well, what say you? We'll go to Joe in College Park. Hello, Joe. You're first up. Good morning. You're on WMAL. Hey. Amen. You don't know each other? Oh, well. Hey, hang on a second. Hey, Bob. Oh, I knocked them off. I wanted to connect them. Oh, darn. All right, Joe. Hey, Bob, you just heard Joe talking about you. This is amazing. They both called in at the same time at that moment.
Sweet.
We got to get you guys together, Bob. Something tells me you guys are brothers and you're messing with us. All right, we'll make it work. Yeah. Well, and yet it's not enough, according to this guy. You didn't sacrifice him. You needed to do more. It's like when you go see Peter Pan and Tinkerbell is dying, and you're saying Peter Pan asked everybody to applaud and applaud and applaud, and Tinkerbell will come back to life. Can you imagine Peter Pan then turning to the audience and saying, well, kids, Tinkerbell's dead because you didn't do enough. You didn't clap enough. We'll have our little College Park O'Connor and Company listening party. All right, we'll do what we can, Bob. Listen, thank you for the call. And thank you for everything you did for the pandemic and the sacrifices that you made. That's what Andy Slavitt and anyone working for this administration should be saying. That should be the only message. Now, as we are opening up, now that we had New York doing fireworks because they're ending their thing, Larry Hogan yesterday saying July 1st, everything ends. State of emergency ends. July 4th is going to happen on the mall. This is a time for celebration. And it's come way too late, by the way. Florida's looking at us up here saying, where you been? We've been doing this since August, right? This is a time for celebration and for gratitude, not for finger pointing and sanctimony. But that's what we're getting from the Democrats and the Biden administration. You'll hear more from Andy Slavitt, but I want to hear from you. Talk back. Let them hear your voice right now because they think you haven't sacrificed enough for the last year and a half. I disagree, and I bet you do too. 888-630 WMAL at 6:15. WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the 5. Steve Hirshhorn's in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Southbound in Maryland, 1416, heading down to points north. Reading the roadway, watch the road very carefully there. There's not much of a backup at speed. 95 in
is Oakdale City up toward the Aqua. That's just going to be some volume. There are no incidents to complicate that. Is continued.
Okay, Echo Park Automotive.
West of town, westbound 66.
See that?
Hmm?
Echo Park Automotive.
Echo Park Automotive. I'll forget that.
I'll write it down.
I got it.
Forecast here.
Partly cloudy skies today with a high near 80 degrees. Looks like that wind is in the rear view mirror now. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 59. And then tomorrow, sunny skies, high near 80. Friday, some clouds, high in the upper 80s. It's looking beautiful for the rest of the week. Let's enjoy it. It's 69 degrees right now in the nation's capital. Traffic and weather brought to you by Echo Park Automotive.
You don't have to. At Echo Park Baltimore and Laurel, we echo that. Our vehicles are always the lowest price, up to $3,000 less than our competition. Find your next vehicle today.
All right,
at Echo
coming
Park.
back with a liner here.
Automotive, lower prices, higher quality, better experience.
Weeknights with Mark Levin, 6 to 9.
Andy Slavitt was the acting administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. That means he's part of the COVID task force for the Biden administration. He appeared on television, and let me give you the full context of what he had to say about you not doing enough. You unhappy about the pandemic? It lasted too long. Too many people died. Well, it's your fault. You should have done more. Yeah, they keep going. We don't need to hear any more, though. You've heard enough. And by the way, I would have loved to have interviewed Mr. Slavitt so I could maybe, I don't know, push back a little on that, Amber, and say, what are you talking about?
It's unbelievable. I mean, these are the type of people who were able to work remotely. They collected their paycheck while working about half as much and in their pajamas from home for the entire pandemic. They were putting other people at risk because they were constantly ordering food delivery services rather than going to the grocery store themselves. So they were making sure that these working class individuals were the ones who had to go out and brave the pandemic for them so that they could get their essential goods. And they have the gall to lecture everybody else about how much they didn't sacrifice. These are the people who sacrificed absolutely nothing. They were celebrating, in fact,
That's right.
the fact that they didn't have to go to their normal galas and social events and that they didn't have to go to their happy hours. And they were thrilled that they got to have their Zoom calls instead of their normal work meetings. But we're all the ones who didn't do enough.
Yeah, good point, Amber. Rocky in Clear Spring, Maryland jumps in here. The Biden administration, apparently, they think you didn't sacrifice enough, Rocky. Mm-hmm. Well, Rocky, maybe Mr. Slavitt's just talking about you. Maybe, he doesn't want to name check you and publicly. So he's using the royal we. But what he really means is the problem here. Randy Slavitt is saying is that Rocky and Clear Spring didn't sacrifice enough. Yeah. Uh, right. Well, see, Rocky, you're listening to the experts, although the problem is which experts, in fact, are we to listen to? Rocky, thanks for calling in here, and I'm sorry that Andy Slavitt called you out in such in no uncertain terms. All right, more on this in a moment. I do want to hear from you if you think you've sacrificed enough or not. Sam in Alexandria will be next up here at 888-630 WMAL. Most guys at some point have belly fat. That, by the way, Sam in Alexandria, not a direct connection. I didn't mean to segue like that. I apologize for how awkward that was. I have belly fat. We all have, right? You know what that fat around your waist is doing to your body? Listen, guys, let me just talk man to man here. It adds 4 pounds of pressure. Every pound that you have around your belly adds 4 pounds of pressure on your knees. That makes running painful. It adds serious stress to your heart, your lungs, your organs. But here's the real kicker. Belly fat creates estrogen, reduces your T levels. You don't want that in your life. You're carrying around 30 pounds of extra. You have T level of a man 30 years older than you. So you got to get rid of it. That's what I did. And I used EMP 180 weight loss to do it. For June, EMP has an amazing Men's Health Month offer just for you. Start your personalized program this month. Not only do you receive a great promotional price, but you also get an exciting gift from EMP to help you get outside and enjoy your life again. So get your T levels back up, get rid of that estrogen in your body, lose the fat, get healthy, 855-888-0180, or visit EMP180.com. EMP180 weight loss. Look better, feel better, live better.
109.
Tell us your story. Go to rcncomplaints.com. That's rcncomplaints.com. Before buttons, things were much harder, like starting an outboard motor. Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggled to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body.
All right, so we don't want to live read in this next.
No,
It's
I'm
gonna
going
be
to
tight.
do 53.
All right.
So we'll do 2 in the next half hour.
Do you want Cornerstone next?
No, the other one, which is
Reynolds.
team. Yeah.
Oh, this is Cornerstone right here.
Yes, but I'm separating. This is a scheduled recording.
Gotcha. All right. Tappable? Oh my. That's just stupid. I can't find that Fox 5 email from last night. Did you email it or text me, the Fox 5 thing?
I emailed it. I could say, which email do you want me to send?
Larry OC. I don't know why I saw it yesterday. I know they want to talk about the Biden summit and then something else. I can't remember the other thing.
They added another topic this morning.
Oh, they did? All right. Oh my God, now we got even more calls coming in. Maybe people are just waking up. Well, we're done with it. Can you put me in queue for a second here?
Yep. Okay, go.
Room service pandemic, and it talks about how a lot of us had it quite okay during the pandemic and others didn't.
I think the other one's better.
In his new book about room service pandemic.
That's his book?
Yeah, he's picking a book right now.
Yeah, I thought the book was called Preventable.
Steve Hirshhorn in 3 seconds here.
625 WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the 5, Steve Hirshhorn's in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
you chatted you the book.
Temperature for today, tops out at 79 degrees. Thursday as well, Friday up to 86. This weekend closer to 90 degrees with a touch of humidity. And oh yeah, this weekend on Saturday, Juneteenth, there's the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm during the afternoon.
It's amazing how all these COVID people had so much time to write.
Oh, stand by.
Straight to you.
Right now it is 69 degrees and holding at Reagan National, 627 on WMAL. Larry O'Connor here with Amber Athey. It's O'Connor and Company, and we're talking about this, at the very least, tone-deaf statement from Andy Slavitt of the Biden administration, formerly of the Biden administration. He was on the COVID task force. What planet is he on? The American people sacrificed so much during this pandemic, and we should be congratulated and celebrated right now. Sam and Alexandria, come on in here. Good morning. You're on WMAL. Oh, I'm so sorry. There you go, Sam. Yeah. Yeah. So that's right. Maybe Mr. Slavitt needs to step back for a minute here, Sam, and recognize exactly what the American people did, like your daughter, and thank her for us. It's 628 on WMAL.
My father was about diamonds. For Mervis Diamond Importers, I'm Ronnie Mervis. Back home in South Africa, our dinner talk was often about diamonds. Father would bring home a box of diamonds and we would sort them. Zed was the one who could judge color. Kenny had the eagle eye for clarity, and I could guess the carat weight. Dad was so proud of his boys, he had trained us well. Today, Mervis Diamond Importers is global, but we still operate by the same old-fashioned
Alrighty.
Diamonds are the best. We cut and polish our diamonds to the Mervis ideal standard. This makes our diamonds brighter and more brilliant. Our diamonds are the envy of the industry, and Mervis is the most trusted name in the diamond world. So when you're ready, call us. Our trained gemologists are waiting to share their knowledge. Mervis Diamond Importers. Mervis means more diamonds, much better quality, and the most value. Financing is available. Go to mervisdiamond.com to learn more. For an appointment, call 1-800-MERLOT.
Okay, coming to the TVs here.
Why should you?
Coming up on WMAL, we've got Cal Thomas. His latest column talks about the leftward lurch of the Democrats. The question is, can wise Republicans capitalize? I want to know who these wise Republicans are. That's the first question of Cal Thomas next on WMAL. All right, a little over there. A few seconds, though, just because I wanted my joke in there.
WMAL News at 6:30. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. The local prosecution of 2 U.S. Park police officers in the shooting death of Bijan Gazar on the George Washington Parkway will now have cooperation of FBI agents who investigated that case, a reverse in Justice Department policy made by Attorney General Merrick Garland. Under the previous administration, the Justice Department declined to get involved in the 2017 shooting, which took place following a car chase, and federal prosecutors declined to charge the officers. A local grand jury indicted them last year, but local prosecutors were told the feds would not assist in the case. That status has now changed. Guess who's going to visit the southern border next month? Not Vice President.
Cal said he could talk about the Biden-Putin meeting, kind of preview that. Also, Trump heading to the border and the border stuff, too.
Okay, I was going to ask him about his column he just wrote too, though.
Okay.
If that's all right, can wise Republicans capitalize on Dems' overreach? Here, this one.
States are lifting COVID restrictions left and right, but many Americans continue to work from home.
A security company, Castle Systems, says its data show fewer than 3 out of 10 white-collar employees, on average, are back at the office in 10 major U.S. cities, including.
How's everything going, Em? Are you writing a column right now?
No.
The chairman of
I was checking my email.
Constable
On my phone, even though it's up on my screen.
to break the work-at-home habit
I'm good.
over the past year.
I'll need another coffee ahead of the 7 o'clock hour, but I'm planning.
Yes.
Feel better than I expected. That's for sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you crash right after.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely need a nap today. I'm kind of bummed because my apartment pool is closed on Wednesdays, and today would have been the perfect day for a pool nap.
Why?
I
Why?
don't know.
The one day a week it's closed.
Just one
They just
day.
can't get a lifeguard, probably.
I guess, yeah. I don't know if they had, the same guy working every day. Maybe they don't want to pay him so much overtime.
Hmm.
Who knows? I actually went to the pool yesterday. It was incredible.
Was it
Finished
great?
my work early, and
Nice.
it's great.
If someone jumps back because of your breath,
It's funny when until I moved to this house, every building I lived in had a pool, but I didn't go as often as I would have wanted to. I don't know. It's just sort of an ordeal, and also
It is.
there's something about a pub. Even though that's an apartment building, it's still. I don't know. I just don't like being around other people.
Yeah, I don't like to go on the weekends because it gets too crowded.
Crazy,
Yesterday
right?
there were 2 people there the
Yes.
entire time I was there, so it was great.
That is nice. That is nice.
The
This
only
and
thing
again,
that
this
sucks
schedule
is-
helps that.
There's a train that runs right behind my apartment building. It's like the Amtrak that comes through.
Uh-huh.
And so at like once every hour you'll just hear this super loud train come by and you're like, what?
And there's always a creeper looking at the women at the pool, right?
I'm sure.
Up the window of the Amtrak. His name is Joe Biden. That's more about
Jeffrey Tubin.
Jeffrey Tubin. Oh God. Ew.
Do you think anyone allows Tubin on their Zoom call?
Oh God.
Ugh.
How is this not a hostile work environment?
Yes. Allison Camerata could sue.
I have
For a lot
sat
of
through
money.
so many of these, office HR training seminars online about hostile work environments. At Salem, oh my God, because of my title at Salem, I'm considered management over at Town Hall. I had to sit through a 2-hour web sexual assault or sexual harassment seminar. 2 hours, and you couldn't skip ahead like some of these things.
Yeah.
You just like, oh, take me to the quiz.
I had to do one of those in college. And you couldn't, if you skipped it, they wouldn't let you go to the next one.
Yeah. Oh, it's the
You had to watch
worst.
The full video.
And then I kid you not, it's not that I didn't pay attention, but I didn't pay attention.
Of course not.
I just let it play in the background until I get to the quiz. So I didn't really listen to any of it. We get to the quiz, 17 questions on the quiz. I got 16 out of 17 because it's just common sense.
Right.
You don't need.
Like, is it okay to grab your coworkers?
Right.
No. Wait, let me go back and watch the video to make sure.
Exactly. How nice a ass is it? How irresistible
What's she
is
wearing?
it? Or oh, you figured it was a she. That's interesting.
Well, that's. I don't know what you're doing over there. I don't know.
The last time I took a sexual harassment one was when I was at Fox News.
Oh, that was effective. Clearly, that was paid attention to.
Yeah. I always thought it was hilarious because it's like, everyone is throwing each other at Fox. Like,
Yeah.
it's like an entire Me Too environment because like everyone's like dating, like it's a newsroom. People
Yes.
date in newsrooms because they're working all the time, so they can't see other people, so they're dating.
Exactly.
That's-
Did Mika and Joe do the trading over at MSNBC?
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know the caveat of having children and married and also going around. So
Right.
yeah.
Oh, it's insane. But the fact that Fox had you do it, it's like it's so obviously like we just got to cross the T and dot the I, so we say we did it. But clearly they didn't do anything over there.
they are hyper sensitive about it after having so many issues with people. So
Yeah.
back then when I was there, it was still ales, and it was completely before.
It was the wild, wild west.
Now you even look at somebody wrong in the hallway, you're totally screwed. So.
Friday's high 86 will be partly sunny. Can't rule out an isolated thunder shower very late. Better chance on Saturday. High temperatures this weekend closer to 90 degrees. I'm 7 News meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the Storm 7 Weather Center.
Right now it is 61 in Leesburg, 58 in Germantown, 66 at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews on 105.9 FM, Washington's Mall, WMAL.
Now, O'Connor and Company.
Good morning. It's 6:37 on WMAL. Larry O'Connor here, getting you through your morning. Amber Athey of The Spectator, keeping us company all morning long. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning.
We see that Vladimir Putin has just touched down in Geneva. Within the hour, he'll be meeting with Vladimir Putin, and coming up to give you instant analysis on that at 7:05, General Jack Keane, and at 8:05, Morgan Ortagus from the Pompeo State Department. Joining us right now, as he always does at this time on this day, it's the one, the only, Cal Thomas. Good morning, Cal. I am taken by your recent headline at the Washington Times. Can wise Republicans capitalize on Democrats' progressive overreach? Let's start with, who are these wise Republicans you speak of? Yes, theoretically. Yeah. But Cal, you know, we're seeing it right on the ground here in the Washington area because, of course, as you know, Virginia has a gubernatorial race here. And Terry McAuliffe, actually, he pushed against the tide that we're seeing in the local level against critical race theory in our schools and in the curriculums. McAuliffe yesterday said, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory dreamed up by Donald Trump. I mean, this is a big opening for Republicans should they be able to take advantage of it. You want to ask him? You can ask him about Putin or the border, unless you want to follow up on this.
Awesome about the border.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about how they want their kids educated going forward. We've had a lot of homeschooling. We've had a lot of distance learning. And what I hear from a lot of parents is that they're not going to put it back in these places anymore. You've got the former J.E.B. Stewart High School there in Northern Virginia, which changed its name to Justice High School, and they have this Muslim women.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable, Cal. I want to ask you about the border because former President Donald Trump announced yesterday that he is going to take a trip to the border. He was invited by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, and this is, of course, is happening as there's a record high number of illegal immigrants crossing the border under the Biden administration, which undid these very effective Trump border security policies. What do you think we can expect from this visit? What will the former president say?
He would do that too. Cal Thomas is our guest, syndicated columnist. Of course, his book, America's Expiration Date, The Fall of Empires and Superpowers, and the Future of the United States. You know, we're seeing a face-off in Geneva right now of the once superpower Soviet Union and President Biden. You know, we have a history here in this country, Cal, of Russian authoritarians sort of taking the measure of a president. And if they smell weakness, they pounce. Mm. Oh. Yeah, and something tells me the media is going to treat it though a little differently than they treated the Trump Putin face-off in Finland. I could be wrong. I don't want to think the worst of them, Cal. Hey, real fast, Cal. I know you're a theater lover like I am, and now we're finally getting back to normal. People are going to be able to go back to Broadway in the fall. Do you have anything special on your list? What's your first show back once you can go back to the theater? Yeah. I think there's a revival of Music Man coming, Cal. That's a classic, right? All right. It is. Yeah. We'll see. Other than Hamilton was a little new, but you're right. Beyond that, we'll leave it there. All right, Cal, thanks. Always good to talk to you, my friend. You bet. You know, selling your home is a life-changing event, just like going to a Broadway show, although it's a kind of bigger, a little more important. So when you're selling your home, I recommend you call Sarah and Debbie Reynolds, the Reynolds team with Keller Williams. I don't care what the situation is. The Reynolds team will accommodate whatever your needs are. They're going to help you sell fast, safely, and for the most money possible. That's what you want, right? Do what I did. Yes, that's right. I am a customer of the Reynolds team. They're my realtors. Sarah and Debbie Reynolds give you trust, expertise, experience, and safe selling. This is a team that will help you maximize the sale of your home every step of the way. Wall Street Journal agrees with me. About time they stepped up and took a listen to me. They called the Reynolds team the #1 team in the DC Metro for the 4th year in a row. They'll sell 3 times faster and for 6.5% more money on average. That means about $32,500 more dollars in your pocket. And they guarantee to sell your home for 100% of your asking price, or they'll pay the difference. Call them now. Get started with Sarah and Debbie Reynolds. 844-344-SOLD. Online, DebbieHasTheBuyers.com.
102.
Wow. Yeah, because I went a little over ahead too. They say the neon lights. I don't know why I asked him that. I knew that was going to kill another 30 seconds. Why did I do that?
All right, traffic here.
6:45. Now WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the 5. Steve Hirshhorn's in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Because I'm an unstoppable moron. That's why.
You went full cicada there.
I did. Such a cicada move.
Yeah.
You got to work that in to the lexicon. So excited to deal with Reagan Airport today.
Oh yeah, lucky you. I will say it hasn't been bad the past month or so. I live right there, so I always ask to pick people up from the airport.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I mean it's literally a 3-minute drive for me, so
He's landing at 9:52. It says.
there
So
won't be any traffic.
that should be
Great
all
to
right.
you here.
Right now, it's back down to 68 degrees in the nation's capital at 6:46. On WMAL, where Washington comes to talk, and today we're talking with Amber Athey, who's been keeping us company all morning long. Let's keep it here with Biden, though, as all eyes are on Geneva. And this one, they're already starting to lower expectations. Have you noticed that? The White House people are like, oh, don't expect much here. It's really just to get to know you. There's not going to be any showdown. Where's the guy who said he was going to, like punch Putin in the face when he finally got to see him?
Right. Well, it turns out the White House realized that that is not how one conducts diplomacy. The thing that I'm most worried about with this meeting is a senior administration official told the press yesterday, I guess on their flight over, that this meeting is supposed to last 4 to 5 hours.
Really?
With no meals.
Wow.
Can Joe Biden last that long?
Well, I don't know if I could last that long.
And I was just thinking, what do they don't have any deliverables that they've given us in terms of what to expect from the meeting. What are they actually going to talk about for 4 to 5 hours?
That'll be other than Putin just saying, thank you for allowing the pipeline to go through in Europe. Thank God you're there, Joe. You're really going to get a lot out of it. By the way, let's not forget Joe Biden, of course, earlier in the year called Vladimir Putin a killer. Mm-hmm. And then earlier this week, well, he had to sing in a different tune. Who used to say that, by the way? Bright, tough, and a worthy adversary. Can you work killer in there too? Murderer, perhaps?
Right. Well, that's what he called him on the campaign trail when he was attacking former President Trump for apparently not being tough enough on Russia. That's right. Then as soon as he's in the same position, he's deferential. He gives him the pipeline. He doesn't ask about Navalny. I mean, it is just a complete 180. Or
forget about Navalny. Don't forget about Navalny. That's a big issue, and he should focus on that. But what about the hacking? What about the fact that Russia is resetting? He just said 2 weeks ago, Biden said that Russia is responsible for this hacking that has devastated America with our pipeline, the gas prices, the meat supply. Couldn't we raise that issue, perhaps? Do something about it there, Vlad?
You would think, and we still don't even know what role the White House had to play in the payment of these ransoms.
Yeah.
For the companies that are being harbored, or not the companies, the hackers who are getting safe harbor in Russia. And you have to imagine that would be on the agenda for any forward-thinking president when they go into a meeting with this so-called worthy adversary. And we still know so few details about how this happened, what role Russia had to play, and what role the White House had to play in apparently giving in to all of their demands.
Amber, you often hear from former White House employees or from State Department employees that, whenever you have these summits, all the hard work has already been done. A lot of this is just pageantry. It's a lot of showmanship, but it is a chance for these two leaders to actually take a measure of each other and actually, get a feel for each other, right? That is important for future dealings. So you got to wonder, you're Vladimir Putin. I think this is the 6th president he's dealt with face to face. It's amazing to think that he's been in Russia for that long, or head of state in Russia for that long. You sit down across from Joe Biden all of a sudden, right? And you get this. Amber, it's unnerving.
It is. It's not good news for the American people, that's for sure. This is not going to be exactly a battle of wits, I would say.
Yeah. Well, if it is, it's going to be one-sided. Right. I don't like Vladimir Putin, but I don't mean to say this. I want our president, our head of state, to be a forceful leader and be able to face down a person like Vladimir Putin. I just don't think we got it in this
No,
guy.
I don't feel that way either. And it's kind of like a beginner at chess going up against a grandmaster. It's as unnerving is the perfect word for it. I don't think anyone feels comfortable having Biden in there for 4 to 5 hours when he can't even last through a 20-minute press conference with reporters who love him, by
Right.
the way, and questions.
And
that
it's
are
still
pre-screened.
hard. And it's still hard for him to
He
get
still
through
can't
it.
make
And so much of what a president does in these summit meetings and in these discussions, these face-to-face, you're relying on the strength of the staff that you put together. I wish Joe Biden had someone like Trey Gowdy in his corner. Do you want me to do a live read here, Cornerstone?
Yeah.
Something tells me none of those things are going to come up today. Well, again, Vladimir Putin now on the ground in Geneva. They'll be meeting within the hour. And coming up at 7:05, General Jack Keane is going to give us his insight into this face-to-face, as well as Morgan Ortagus at 8:05 from the Pompeo State Department. So we've got you covered on this all morning long. In the meantime, the rates are still dropping right now for mortgage refinance. And this is a great thing. And a study recently that came out showed a quarter of all homeowners missed out on this COVID-19 refinance wave. A quarter of you haven't done anything because you didn't know your current interest rate. I cannot believe that. Do you not know your current interest rate? Here's the great thing about Mark Livingstone and Cornerstone First Financial. All you've got to do is find your latest statement and just fax it to him. Take a picture of it and email it to him, and then he'll get back to you. Because right now, you can get a fixed rate in the mid-2s. Mark is going to look at this, give it to his whole team at Cornerstone First, and he'll get back to you. And he'll say, you know what, you're sitting pretty. I can't do much to help you. That's why he'll do that. He'll tell you that he can't help you. But likely he'll be able to get something for you. If you're working with another company, by the way, right now, use Cornerstone as a sounding board. Get that second opinion. It's so important. They've got 20 years of experience in the business, AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of great reviews. Don't call anyone else. They're a direct lender. That means they guarantee to meet or beat any competitor right here on WMAL. Send Cornerstone First that copy of your mortgage statement. They'll get back to you in minutes. These rates are not going to be here forever. Call Cornerstone First Financial, 202-625-1221. 202-625-1221, cornerstonefirst.com.
117.
First time with that copy. That's why.
Okay.
Darn it. Darn it. Sorry, we're still ahead of the game. We can squeeze in this F and...
We're not ahead of the game.
Well, what I mean is we're not too far behind.
Yeah. It's not too bad.
What are we behind? A minute and a half?
Let me see.
Or 1 minute? I think we should be down 1 minute if I'm
it's
counting
more-
right.
It's definitely more than 1 minute.
Oh, all right.
It's 2 minutes.
All right. Well, I'll try to get out of 57:30 here then.
Okay.
Do we have Marvin Gaye?
Waiting for it. It's not there yet. Oh, just came through, I think. Yep.
You know what? Don't come in with that. I'll use it as a
Okay.
as a punchline or as a comedic sound cue.
Okay. Should I zero your fader out for the podcast, or should we just have Heather?
Oh,
I mean, I can take it so it doesn't go on the
yeah.
podcast.
If you can, yeah. If you can eliminate it.
I'll do it right now. All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, traffic here.
It's 6:55 now. WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the 5. Steve Hirshhorn's in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
isolated thunder showers late
Okay, straight to you.
Saturday. Temperatures this weekend closer to 90 degrees. 7 News meteorologist Ron Johnson.
Right now it's 66 degrees at Ronald Reagan National Airport, 656 on WMAL. Amber Athey keeping us company all morning long. As I mentioned, General Jack Kane just around the corner here. But before we continue talking about the Biden-Putin summit, we do have to talk about some of the repercussions that we're still sort of figuring out over the pandemic, Amber. And we now have a new study out, this study from SWNS that is talking about some real concerns that we have in the future here over a change of behavior of many Americans due to the pandemic. And I mean, there's no way to say it lightly. It's the problem is that Americans haven't been, well, they haven't been intimate as much as they used to. They've been keeping their distance from each other, let's say. And this is actually going to, a lot of people were talking at the beginning of the pandemic that we're going to have this baby boom, the coronavirus baby boom. Oh, what are you going to name your baby? Oh, I'm going to name it COVID, right? So apparently quite the opposite. We're having a lack of the thing that you have to do to make a baby.
Yeah, and this continues the trend of younger people apparently having less sex than ever. This was something that was happening before the pandemic even started. And I guess these people are the opposite of the ones we talked about last week who were sharing their crazy COVID sex stories.
Yes.
The guy who said the woman wanted him to call her Dr. Fauci.
Yeah. That's honestly, given the choice, I think I'd abstain.
Yes,
Actually, I get now this all makes sense.
Yeah,
why they
maybe I
haven't
don't blame them.
It is interesting that it's young people, and I wonder if it was just fear of the virus or just because it was hard to meet people, was hard to get out because everybody was isolated. But I took an informal poll yesterday when I saw this story of people of my generation, and no issues here. So what have you got to say for yourself, Amber? Well, not yourself. I mean, you're actually, you know what? Just let that. Yeah, we'll just
Hostile work environment.
6:50. Oh no, it's 6:58 on WMAL. Darn it! I couldn't last a day. Ah. Well, that made it awkward. Okay.
Oh, I talked to Corey. His suggestion was that Spencer just doesn't go because he's been to 4 games this week.
Oh, but no, we can't do that.
Well, otherwise the ticket won't be in the same section.
Oh, all right.
So.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Meredith already volunteered. She's going to drink with her friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll bring my brother-in-law, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up, as mentioned, General Jack Keene's going to join us right around the corner and give us his analysis of what he expects from this Putin-Biden showdown. Plus, who's buying Hunter Biden's art? Really? All right. Thank you for asking, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he said he'd be able to get an extra, but it wouldn't be with us. So.
No, and I don't want Spencer. That would be awful. And I want to hang with Spencer anyway. So
Okay.
no, Meredith already said, listen,
Okay.
you can't get a fifth. Our next door neighbor, they're going to be wallpapering or something. And so I'm just sorry you can't hang with Meredith because I know you guys got along so well that day at the Daily Caller dinner. I think was the last time.
Yeah, I think so. My mom said, "Ha, good one" on my hostile workplace. So
I'm glad she liked it.
yeah.
I'm going to be called into the office.
That being said, there's an effort underway to get one vaccine mandate dropped in the state.
Announced that the University of Maryland system will require anyone planning to return to campus in the fall to be vaccinated. Congressman Andy Harris is now appealing to Governor Larry Hogan and Maryland's Secretary of Health to rethink that.
Especially in light of the new information about myocarditis and its a side effect of the vaccine when giving to mostly young males. I think it's not a good idea to mandate these vaccines for otherwise healthy people who are at very low risk of contracting COVID.
Congressman Harris on WMAL Show. Maria Lee on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The mask mandates and social distance cues may be ending, but the handouts are not. Virginia tourism officials are pushing lawmakers this summer to use $275 million of its federal COVID relief money to help bail out an industry that saw hotels empty and restaurants close, many of them permanently. As more than 100,000 people lost their jobs in Virginia. Without business travel or conventions coming back soon, officials say it'll take years for hospitality to become a hospitable business again in Virginia. If you live in Maryland and haven't been able to pay your utility bills this past year, there's a decent chance you won't have to make up what you owe. The State Public Service Commission has extended the moratorium on cutting off electric and gas service for those on state assistance until at least November 1st. And it'll tap into an $83 million state pandemic fund to provide bill credits for those customers as well, potentially wiping out years of debt. June 19th, 1865, the date that slaves as far away as Texas learned they had been freed, is now being celebrated more widely across the country.
For the first time, the Fairfax County Park Authority is hosting Juneteenth celebrations to commemorate Juneteenth with a series of programs. We have tours and lectures, and many of these are going on throughout the month of June. Judy Peterson says events are being held at Sully Plantation, Walney Farm, Primehan Park, and Colvin Run Mill. We know that enslavement occurred in homes, it happened in shops, farming, and places of work. And as a factory and a home, Colvin Run Mill combines all of these. Details at the park website, Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Checking your money, the Dow futures are down 26 points this morning. The NASDAQ futures up 18. In sports, the Nats beat the Pirates 8-1, backed by a Yan Gomes grand slam, 8 strong innings from Patrick Corbin, and 4 hits from Trey Turner.
We did a little bit of everything tonight. We did. We played defense. We got 6th grade. So we just got to keep playing like this and take it day by day. I think we'll be in a good spot.
The Nats have now won 3 straight. The Orioles fall to the Indians 7-2, a team record 17 straight road losses for the Birds. WMAL News Time is 7:04. Up next, traffic and weather as O'Connor and Company continues on 105.9 FM WMAL.
He's back and raring to go. There's some stuff happening. Dan Bongino. Okay, so that's easy to say, but what's the truth? Weekdays at noon, the Dan Bongino Show on 105.9 FM. Everybody get that? WMAL. I'm one young candidate for governor, and I paid for this ad. I've spent the last 30 years building business and creating jobs, leading a team of nearly 2,000.
Let's get rid of the cover over Virginia.
All right.
Can we talk about the Olympian that said that she ate a burrito and
Oh yeah.
she said that because she'd eaten the burrito